Major funding for NJTV News is provided in part by the members of the New Jersey Education Association, making public schools great for every child, and PSE&G. We make things work for communities.
Tonight on NJTV News, park test trouble.
A Rutgers professor is happy Governor Murphy wants to end park testing in the schools, but the chair of the Senate Education Committee isn't so sure.
I'm on a boat in the Hackensack River near where a gas-fired power plant's proposed to be built. It's staunchly opposed by environmentalists because
about 80,000 people in New Jersey have a condition known as aphasia. What it is, what causes it, and where to get help.
Plus, a late but richly deserved honor for a genuine New Jersey hero. Baseball great Larry Doby gets the gold. Those stories and more next on NJTV News.
Live from the Agnes Varus NJTV studio at 2 Gateway Center in Newark, this is NJTV News with Mary Alice Williams.
Hello, thank you for joining us. A prospective natural gas-powered generating plant next to the Meadowlands is generating heat from environmentalists who are protesting permits the state's already issued and questioning whether Governor Murphy's green energy agenda was just so much hot air. Senior correspondent Brenda Flanagan reports.
we're with the Hackensack Riverkeeper on the water by Bellman's Creek. Follow it upstream past the White Egret and you'll find this, a 15-acre site for the proposed North Bergen Liberty Generating Project, an enormous gas-fired power plant that would churn out 1,200 megawatts of power. Energy destined solely for New York City via an underground cable to help replace power lost when the Indian Point nuclear power plant closes in 2021.
We regard it as an affront to the protection of the Meadowlands. That's
7,000 acres of protected wetlands. The Riverkeeper acknowledges the power plant sited at the edge of the Meadowlands in an industrial zone, and New Jersey's DEP just issued 6 initial permits recognizing it's a conforming use.
Yes, I realize those 15 acres were used as a concrete smashing facility. They're not pristine acres, but the idea of shoehorning a gas-fired power plant next to Bellman's Creek, a tributary of the protected Meadowlands, just makes no sense to any of us in the conservation community.
Hey, hey, ho, ho! Meadowlands power plant has got to go!
Environmentalists protested Tuesday, pointing out the plant will also release greenhouse gases into New Jersey's atmosphere in an area that often suffers from poor air quality.
We don't want the power plant there because, number one, the power is from New York City.
I think it's ridiculous that they would put it in Bergen County. I don't think it belongs in New Jersey.
Governor Murphy, do not gas the Meadowlands.
Critics say Murphy back in May signed an executive order requiring 50% of the energy sold in New Jersey to be from renewable sources by 2050, and also ordered New Jersey to rejoin RGGI, the regional greenhouse gas initiative designed to reduce emissions. They said granting permits to this project runs counter to Murphy's green energy standard.
You can't hide behind your words and say one thing and do the opposite.
That's right.
Because all you've said about reducing greenhouse gases and dealing with climate change is hot air if you let this plant go forward.
This is, I believe, far from over based on every assessment I've had. And this is one where we've got to, this is one of these ones where you got to call balls and strikes. We're very early in this process right now. And so I would say to be determined where we come out on this.
The DEP notes the facility requires additional approvals and permits, including an air operating permit from the DEP and other agencies. These permits will be subject to thorough DEP review. Meanwhile, North Bergen's balancing concerns for the wetlands against economic benefits. The $1.5 billion plant represents a couple thousand construction jobs and maybe a couple $million in payments in lieu of taxes.
The project will utilize the latest technology. It will be the greenest possible plant of this kind in the country. We believe that it's the right thing for the township. That we believe that it will have no adverse effect and that it's a tremendous financial opportunity.
In a statement, the company adds it will build the safest, cleanest electric generating facility that current technology allows. NBLG is voluntarily participating in the RGGI initiative to offset 100% of its net CO2 emissions. Additionally, 130% of the allowable nitrous oxide and volatile organic compound emissions from the facility will be offset by the regional purchase of creditable emission reductions. Initial permits from the DEP kick off a long, complex regulatory process for this project. Expect both the advocates and the opponents to keep the heat turned way up. In Ridgefield Park, I'm Brenda Flanagan, NJTV News.
Big changes are coming to the controversial standardized test that so many teachers complained about and so many students opted out of. And even those changes are controversial. Chief Political Correspondent Michael Aaron reports.
Governor Murphy made the announcement yesterday. He is calling for a phase-out of the controversial PARCC test. Senate Education Committee Chair Teresa Ruiz has concerns about some details. Among them, the governor's call to reduce the number of tests required to graduate high school from 6 to 2 and make one of them the 10th grade English test instead of the 11th grade.
We're going to move from 11th grade testing to 10th grade testing in English. And so when we think about that dynamic, we think about we're really reducing a benchmark for high school graduation.
The governor wants to eliminate 9th grade testing, another concern of Ruiz's. We are a society that tests, she says, and she defends the usefulness of PARCC.
We always kept hearing the same thing. Stop teaching to the test. We want to create critical thinkers. This test allows for that.
The Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers test was rolled out in 2014 under the Christie administration. It was instantly controversial. It was an online test and subject to computer glitches, and it was hard and time-consuming. Schools have gotten more used to it now, but the governor campaigned on a promise to end PARCC. Julia Rubin is a Rutgers professor who does research on education policy. She is happy the governor is lowering the graduation requirements.
The current regulations under the Christie administration are, not appropriate. A lot of students would have had trouble graduating, but graduation regulations in any form that involve high-stakes testing like this are just a bad idea. New Jersey is one of only 13 states that still has them. We're kind of unfortunately on the slow end of getting rid of bad ideas.
She's particularly concerned about students in low-income districts.
It's a very time-intensive test. It is a test where the proficiency levels were cut artificially high. We set in New Jersey the proficiency level, and the PARCC consortium set the proficiency level to 4 out of 5, which is really like an A. So when you ask all children to reach an A level, by definition, they're going to fail.
In the initial stages, it was too long. The data from it didn't come back to educators and families soon enough.
Betsy Ginsburg runs the Garden State Coalition of Schools, an alliance of 100 mainly suburban districts. She calls Governor Murphy's phase-out of PARCC a good first step.
I think what we're doing now is a thoughtful transition from PARCC to the next test, and we don't know yet what that test will be.
Federal law requires testing in grades 3 through 8 and 1 year of high school, so something will replace PARCC. Some of Murphy's proposals need approval from the State Board of Education, where they were introduced today and could take months to hash out. Ruiz thinks PARCC is still viable and was just badly rolled out.
We did a terrible job in the public relations component of explaining what the department was going to do. And that's not unique to New Jersey. That happened across this country. And I think people used it for their own vested interest and an opportunity to deter what the focus was, which was to create a tool of assessment to make sure that our students would be college or career ready.
Ruiz predicts a new test from a new provider will be rolled out in a year or two. In the meantime, schools and teachers will welcome a downshift to PARCC Lite. In the newsroom, I'm Michael Aaron, NJTV News.
The cost of sharing a power grid tops this day's business news. Standing by at the Strategic Development Group studio at the NJCU School of Business is Rhonda Schaffler. Rhonda?
Mary Alice, utility regulators in the state are expressing their frustrations with PJM interconnection and are threatening to pull out of the Regional Transmission Organization. PJM manages the high-voltage power grid in 13 states, including New Jersey, and has been undergoing a huge and costly modernization. And for New Jersey officials, that's the issue. Board of Utilities President Joseph Fiordaliso and other commissioners have been unhappy with some decisions made by the transmission group, saying they've resulted in higher electric bills for New Jersey residents. Fiordaliso told NJ Spotlight the state is looking at a number of options, including pulling out of the organization. For its part, PJM says its decisions are based on keeping that grid reliable. Newark has already dangled a $2 billion tax incentive in front of Amazon to try to lure its second headquarters to the city. Today, the city council passed an ordinance officially authorizing that money and making clear what it wants back from Amazon. To qualify for tax incentives, Amazon must commit to creating at least 30,000 new jobs and creating investments of at least $3 billion over 20 years. Newark is pledging to speed up the approval process for any permits Amazon would need, and the city would allow Amazon to receive a 100% payroll tax exemption for the hiring of workers living in Newark. It would receive a 50% exemption for all other employees. A New Jersey drug company has prevailed in its lawsuit to stop a Nevada prisoner's scheduled execution. A Nevada judge ordered a stay of execution in response to the suit brought by drug maker Alvogen, which said it didn't want its product used in, quote, botched executions. The Alvogen product is called midazolam, and it's used to promote drowsiness. This is the first time a drug company has successfully sued to halt a U.S. execution involving one of its drugs. Alvogen is headquartered in Montville. The former Hoffman LaRoche campus in Nutley is getting a new tenant. Ralph Lauren is moving its Lyndhurst operations to the campus, which is now known as On3. Ralph Lauren was considering a move to North Carolina, but decided to stay in New Jersey after receiving $33.1 million in state tax credits. The decision to stay in the state preserves 500 jobs, and Ralph Lauren says it plans to create 200 more. The Economic Development Authority also recently awarded state tax credits to the financial firm E-Trade. Last month, the EDA authorized $20 million in incentives. E-Trade is now considering moving about 250 customer service jobs to New Jersey. E-Trade already has several hundred people working in offices here in Jersey City. On Wall Street today, stocks sold off as the Trump administration said late yesterday it may impose additional tariffs on China. That sent the Dow down more than 200 points. And those are your top business stories.
Support for the Business Report provided by Verizon. Support for the Environment Report provided by PSE&G, making things more sustainable for New Jersey.
One costly consequence of climate change. Since Superstorm Sandy, the Army Corps of Engineers has spent $19 million generating proposals to wall off the sea so it can't swamp the shore. Brianna Vannozzi looked at the options and the opposition.
When Superstorm Sandy came barreling up the Atlantic, 14-foot storm surges caused mass flooding across the metropolitan region, racking up more than $70 billion in damages. 6 years later, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is finally narrowing down design plans to protect the area from future coastal storm devastation, and almost all include massive sea gates, storm barriers, or land-based flood walls.
They basically span the spectrum from large comprehensive solutions which cover the entire harbor region to more focused areas that are on areas that have high residual risk that haven't been addressed already by one of the number of efforts.
There's 6 proposals in all. The Army Corps refers to them as alternatives, concentrating on the New Jersey-New York harbor, and environmental groups aren't thrilled about any of them.
Several of the proposals cut off tidal flow to either the entire estuary or to portions of it. When you cut off tidal flow, that means you're cutting off oxygen, you're cutting off nutrients, you're cutting off the flushing of contaminants out of the system. So we haven't seen any data about this.
The plan, called ALT-2, is raising the most eyebrows. It proposes a giant gate that would stretch for about 5 miles from Sandy Hook, New Jersey, all the way to Breezy Point in the Rockaways. The gate would remain open most of the time for passing ships, but swing closed like a saloon door in the event of a storm surge. The rub is, even if the gates remain open, the structures built on either side to support it could trap important sea life and disrupt the waterway.
There's a knee-jerk reaction here, and that is that the ocean and the water in the New York Harbor are bad things and that they're going to hurt us.
Not so, says the Army Corps. The organization is holding a series of public hearings this week to gather public input. The Corps says it doesn't advocate for any single plan, and there are plenty of other options calling for multiple shorter barriers, all based on successful models from around the world.
The Thames Barrier in London, of course, protects London, and in fact is closed 7 to 8 times a year. And has been protecting London. There's another storm surge barrier at St. Petersburg.
We are doing some fatal flaw type modeling, numerical modeling of surge barriers because they are common in several of the alternatives. So we're looking to see that they can capture the existing freshwater inflows that come in from the various tributaries as well as wastewater treatment plants so that you don't get bad flooding from that.
One design with common ground, option 5. It addresses sea level rise and uses a hybrid approach with shoreline-based flood walls, dunes, levees, and
natural buffers, stormwater management, all things that are very cost-effective, save the taxpayer dollars.
There's still no cost analysis, and all the designs are preliminary, but some estimates say option 2 could cost $25 billion to build and another few $100 million a year just to maintain.
The Army Corps of Engineers is aiming to select 2 design options by the fall, but any final plan still has a long way to go. The Chief's report, that's the last step before getting funding from Congress, isn't expected until 2022. That's a full 10 years post-Sandy. In Newark, Brianna Venozzi, NJTV News.
A long-delayed honor for a New Jersey giant. That tops tonight's Garden State Express. Our first stop, Paterson, hometown of baseball titan and civil rights hero Lawrence Larry Doby. He broke the American League's color barrier in 1947, signing with the Cleveland Indians after a star turn with the Newark Eagles in the old Negro League, facing the same racism and cruelty as the National League's Jackie Robinson, but getting little of the credit. Representative Bill Pascrell sponsored legislation in 1997 to name Paterson's Ward Street post office after Doby, and he's got a stamp. Now, Pascrell's legislation to award Mr. Doby the Congressional Gold Medal is awaiting final passage by the U.S. Senate. Jackie Robinson got his gold medal in 2003, the year Larry Doby died. Next to Brigantine, where Bernadette Scarduzio's crusade for beach access has broken a barrier for others, she suffers from a hereditary neurological disease that causes her muscles to gradually deteriorate. As a teen, she struggled to cross the hot sand in leg braces. As an adult in a wheelchair, she's been reliant on rented beach scooters at $80 a day, if they're available, and friends to push her. Well, last year, she asked the city council to consider installing a Moby mat. Last week, they did. The 350-foot-long, 5-foot-wide, non-slip Moby mat at the 16th Street Beach stretches to the high tide line. It's meant to help wheelchair users, but seniors, people with disabilities, and parents pushing strollers also have Bernadette Scarduzio to thank. Finally, Secaucus and a million bricks of Legos, they say. Organizers of this weekend's Lego Brick Fest Live packed Lego fans into the Meadowlands Expo Center, festooned and otherwise filled to the gills with the classic building blocks of life. There was a glow gallery for creations with an inner light. There were heroes and villains, trains and ships, skylines, and starry nights. And if that wasn't enough, parents and grandparents were offered the opportunity to purchase new, rare, vintage, or even custom merch. And that's the Garden State Express for Wednesday, July 11th. Something up in your neighborhood? Tip us off. The State Department of Health is tackling a shocking disparity in maternal and infant mortality. New Jersey's overall infant mortality rate is lower than the national rate, but the mortality rate for black infants is more than 3 times that of whites, and black women are more than 4 times as likely to die from pregnancy-related complications as white women. To improve the odds of healthy outcomes, the State Department of Health is awarding $4.3 million in grants to 6 maternal and child health agencies across the state. Faced with a rise in cases of hepatitis C, the State Department of Human Services is devoting $2.2 million in state funding to expand treatment for all New Jersey's Medicaid recipients at the time they're diagnosed, instead of making them wait until their livers have already suffered debilitating damage. Though baby boomers are 6 times more likely to be infected with Hep C than those in other age groups, the state is seeing a rise in new infections among 20-somethings, amid ongoing concern about increased infections due to the opioid epidemic. More common than Parkinson's disease, cerebral palsy, or muscular dystrophy is aphasia, a brain disorder that robs patients of their ability to communicate. Andrew Schmertz met a New Jersey couple whose center helps family members navigate the traumatic change.
For those with the devastating condition known as aphasia, the laughter and the social activity this center provides is quite literally a life changer.
At Adler Center, remarkable.
This changed our whole lives. One of the most wonderful things that happened in the beginning is my husband always felt so bad because Ed didn't call us anything. And then one day he said, "Dad," and that just changed our whole world.
Edward Morgan suffered a stroke at just 33 while running a race. It turns out the stroke caused aphasia, a condition that robs people of their ability to communicate.
It affects all aspects of language, so it's not just speaking, it's reading, it's writing, and it can affect comprehension. But the frustration for people with aphasia is that it does not affect your intellect.
Aphasia may affect 80,000 New Jerseyans and 2 million people nationwide. Stroke is the #1 cause, followed by brain tumors and traumatic injury. And the Centers for Disease Control says the incidence of stroke in people under the age of 50 is increasing, meaning aphasia is too, along with the people needed to care for them. Caregivers say one of the biggest challenges they face is first to find out what aphasia is, and then where to go and get help. So centers like this one are just as important for caregivers as they are for survivors of stroke. Becky Parker was all consumed in taking care of her firefighter husband when he suffered a stroke.
After a couple of years, all of a sudden, when we came here, it's like, oh my God, I got to start taking care of myself.
Aphasia is not a well-known word, so obviously speaking to the community about it and getting the word out is part of our challenge.
The center was founded by Elaine and Michael Adler when he suffered aphasia. As successful business people, the Adlers were frustrated at the lack of help there was and set out to build a center to offer it.
The public really doesn't know it. They know everything else. They know Alzheimer's, and I could go on, but not realizing that there is help for someone in need, and it's not just that person, it's the whole family.
In May 2017, the center says New Jersey became the first state to recognize aphasia and set aside resources just for it. The Adler Center is one of just a handful in the nation. Those here say the first step in getting more help is getting the word out about the devastating condition. In Maywood, Andrew Schmertz, NJTV News.
Support for the medical report is provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Now, some noteworthy facts that help you know Jersey. Aphasia is estimated to affect 80,000 New Jerseyans. Newark is one of 20 cities in the running for Amazon's HQ2. There are a total of 9 coal or gas-fired power plants in New Jersey, and 275 different species of plants can be found in the New Jersey Meadowlands. If there's someone who you'd like to get to know Jersey, share. Use hashtag #KnowJersey. Tomorrow on NJTV News was Round Blue and New Jersey's biggest cash crop. To share any story you've seen tonight, go to njtvnews.org. I'm Mary Alice Williams. For all the men and women of NJTV News, thank you for being here. See you tomorrow.
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. NJM Insurance Group, serving the insurance needs of New Jersey residents and businesses for more than 100 years. And Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
PSE&G is building New Jersey's clean energy future. We're working to protect our network against extreme weather, expanding and upgrading transmission lines, and modernizing our natural gas system by installing new, more durable underground pipes. At PSE&G, our goal is to make sure you have the safe, reliable energy you need to power your life now and into the future.
In every county across the state,
I do like that Horizon is a Jersey company. It's almost like a sports team. For us, it's like ours.
in sickness and in health.
You never think it's going to happen to you, especially being so young. Horizon has been there for me through everything I've been through.
With experience and stability, we're behind you.
You know, we're hardworking people in New Jersey. Horizon gets us.